Good day, fellow cinema nerds and geek gamers of the internet. You're watching Deano Reviews, catchphrase, or intro, whatever. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I did my review, rambling thoughts, so on and so forth, of Hell or High Water, and I said in that review, recently I saw 4 other films that month, or before seeing it. And those films were Sausage Party, Pete's Dragon, War Dogs, and Kubo and the Two Strings. And I was planning, I said, maybe after I film this I'll review that, but those reviews are coming because, I haven't done them, and I would say, and I can't give the excuse it takes a lot to set up, because I don't have a green screen, I don't have expensive editing software, I have Windows Movie Maker, this laptop on the edge of my bed, to find the wallpaper on the PS4 and have it zoom in and turn the brightness down so this laptop webcam could pick it up, and then me talk. The only thing that I may need to prepare for is having water, because my throat could dry up from talking so much. That's a sign. I have some water there. Speaking of which, I'm actually quite thirsty. Yes. Anywho. Sorry. Yes. I procrastinate and I'm lazy, so I haven't done those yet. Yes, it doesn't take really any amount of effort at all, besides just me thoughts going to my mouth and then those thoughts coming out of my mouth and then putting on a laptop or video, whatever. But still, it's not like I saw those movies like a year ago. I still, if I just think about the movie, I could just ramble on about my thoughts there and then, but I will get to those, because especially Sausage Party, I have some things to say about that. Why not do them after this? It's 11:40 at night. But so it's not 5 films I want to get around to doing. Why does it matter? I just want to put my thoughts out there, and I haven't. But as for this movie, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, say that 5 times fast. It's a bit of a long title. Good thing they didn't add a subtitle like Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, the beginning of the peculiarness. Because when it comes to subtitles of sequels or movies or whatever, I don't say the subtitles. I just say the order. Ice Age to Meltdown. I ain't saying that. I'm saying Ice Age 2. I don't think it deserves to have me say the actual subtitle. I don't think it's worth it. I am a busy man. That sounds narcissistic. I'm sorry for that. It was a joke. It didn't work. No. But again, so it's not 5 movies. I just saw this film tonight. I wanted to get around to seeing it, and it got me saying, no, I want to say this now, because I actually do have quite a bit to say on it, and I haven't watched any reviews of this yet, because I know if I watch those reviews, I'll feel like I'll make and then do this, I'll feel like, oh, I'm just copying the thought they said, and also because I just want to keep it going. I'm sure if I watch the reviews, I could have said that, but I do have some points here, and yes, I have notes. Isn't that nice? This will probably make it 20 minutes than 40, which completely unintentional. So I'm saving you and myself time. Thank you for watching, by the way. It's very nice. You probably just skipped to this exact moment when I started talking about the actual thing. It's understandable. Okay, this movie. Here we go. I should begin on what I thought going into it. Basically, am I a fan of Tim Burton? Possibly one of my favourite films is Beetlejuice. I really love Batman 1989, the style, all of it. I did grow up a bit on Edward Scissorhands and Corpse Bride, a bit on Alice in Wonderland, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I was obsessed with that movie. Even though I did also grow up on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory on VHS. I said Willy 3 times before I actually said the actual title. But so, am I a fan of his? Yes, I'd say so. I like a few of his films. I don't know if his style per se has gone a bit dated, and it seems a lot of people are going oh, Tim Burton's not doing very well nowadays, because you know, some of his movies as of recently aren't doing that well critically. Like Alice in Wonderland didn't really do that well critically, and I heard there was a movie called Dark Shadows with Johnny Depp. But as for this film, when the trailer popped up, like I said, I could just look at it. Just looking at that. Sorry if that's really blurry, by the way. Just looking at this style over substance, you can just tell that's Tim Burton. I know Eva Green's face is a bit blurred out there, but you could tell that's a Tim Burton film. I could just, when I first saw the trailer at the cinema before the movie started, I was like, yeah, Tim Burton. Just something about it. Maybe it's the fact that they're all dressed up like they've gone to Hot Topic. That's a joke people normally make with Tim Burton. We don't have Hot Topic here, or maybe we do. I don't know, I've never spotted it. But that's a joke people make, because the characters wear a lot of black. So there you go. So yes, I am a fan of his. Well, okay, I won't say a fan. I like a few of his movies. I haven't seen all of his movies. I grew up on some of his movies. I like some of his movies very much. I love the style. His style, I like it per se. You know, peculiar. Well, I don't know if he could take all the credit because this was based off books, which I was I don't know how I found out, but actually one of my first points is the world here is fascinating. I really like this world. In fact, this movie actually makes me want to read the books. I haven't gone into a good book in a very long time, or a series of books. I haven't really just had a book I've really gone into and just sat in bed and binged overnight, let's say. In fact, I haven't really read a full book in a very long time. I think the last series of books I've really gone into, there's one book I haven't read the newest installment of the series yet, but the Diary of the Wimpy Kid books. Yeah, not Shakespearean literature, but I found them entertaining. And I just liked them. And I also grew up on the movies Diary of the Wimpy Kid. But this, I'm actually really interested in buying and reading the books, because the world here, just the way they portrayed it in this movie, just makes me interested in reading it. But I made notes. We're going to go through it step by step. Got a bit of a cold. And my throat was a bit dry. But anywho. Okay, first off, the first point I made was a negative one. The editing here was quite sloppy. What do I mean by that? Here's an example. The movie begins, you know, classic movie thing, play the credits, directed by this, starred this, produced by this and this, not really in that order normally, you know, shows images, music, and I don't know if this was either intentional, this was just his style, you know, when you can like make you react like, oh, that's weird because Tim Burton weirding you out, or I don't know, something messed up with the bloody projector, but it just cutted. That sounds like I'm saying it wrong, or that's not even the word. Cutted to the shot, like, and I don't mean like the music faded out, and it just then went from the visuals to the first shot of the film. No, literally, it was like da. Like music was going, visuals. It said directed by Tim Burton, and like, I was expecting maybe a fade, and music could die out. No, it just cut right into the scene. Another example, there's a scene where one of the peculiar children is in the water, and I'm not going to say why, and the child is getting out of the water, but instead of had a shot of, you know, the character in the water getting out, then it had a shot here. What was it called? I do film studies. Long shot. Yeah, because it shows the whole body. Okay. I've got a D in it. AS. I'm ashamed of myself. And then it's a long shot, and it shows the character getting out. You know, normal stuff. It establishes the character in the water. Character getting out to establish the character is getting out of the water. In the long shot, to show, you know, full well the character getting out of the water, stepping over, then going on her merry way. But no, it shows the character getting up, and like I believe it was like halfway, like the character wasn't fully out of water until it just cut to, you know, the character already leaning over to get out of the water. It was just kind of sloppily edited, and like just okay, so basically, okay, so those are my two examples. Just it cuts straight away to the first scene. Stylish, I found it a bit odd, and I thought something. And when you think something went wrong in the editing room or something's wrong with the projector, not a good sign. Even if you are trying to be a bit stylish. Some things like that were edited poorly, or just a character getting out of water, and there was also the movie's lack of establishing shots. Like for example, there's a scene where the main character Jake wants to get out of bed and wants to get out of bed and go to the home, and he's allowed to get away because the dad is sleeping, played by the guy from IT Crowd. Just nice to see him here. He's Irish, he hided it very well. I like IT Crowd. Got the box set down there. Isn't that irrelevant? I know, but you know, has to do with the character, actor in the movie. I was meant to say actor, but it's a character. Oops a daisies, actor. What am I doing? But it's all a big show. But instead, the movie has a problem. It doesn't take its time. It likes to rush. It just I know sometimes people like to say, "Oh, that means it's not boring." You know, giddy up, get to the point. But no. I mean, the movie's not boring. Okay, it does feel a bit long. Sometimes, like, okay, especially towards the end, like, okay, this is starting to feel long. But I wasn't bored though. Just you'd rather feel like it's getting a bit long. But the fact, like just the character Jake going from here to the pub to upstairs to, I don't know, the character's here and suddenly the character's here. It doesn't establish it. Suddenly the character's here and it just all of a sudden it doesn't show the character walk into the building, sneak up to this place, and then start the dialogue thing or whatever the character's going to do that's important. No, the character's here. Cuts to the character here. It doesn't establish it. It just doesn't take its time. Again, I'm going to keep saying establishing shot. It doesn't establish the character walking here and doing this. No, it just cuts from this character being here to here. And it doesn't even take, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds of the character laying there, so the audience know, yep, the character's laying in bed. And you can hear the dad snoring, so you know the dad's asleep. No, it's literally 3 seconds. You see the character in bed. Then the character gets up and goes away. And I can't... Did they even show the dad sleeping? I think it just have you hear the dad snoring. But basically, I think those are good enough examples. Cut straight, just the opening credits alone, and then not really editing well. A character getting out of the water. By the way, sorry if I'm speaking quietly. Don't want to wake anyone up. Hopefully, it picks it up. But and also, it just doesn't establish things, and it doesn't take its time, or just a character going somewhere. Or I don't know, just showing what a character's doing, or just a character going from here to here. It's just fast paced a bit. I mean, not all the time, just moments. Okay. I had to get my phone again. Okay. Credits and music just cut immediately to first shots. Said that established shots are rare. Hopefully, you get the point by that. Wrong way of cutting to the chase. It should take its time, like I said, and okay, this is funny. Basically, before the movie started, I don't know I'm really curious what the actual age rating of this film is, but I'm gonna look up while I'm talking. Basically, okay, I can't talk and do it at the same time. This will take a couple seconds. Age rating, good thing. Google noticed how I typed in the title earlier to look up if it had any after credits, because I don't want to wait. IMDb. Come on, man. Help me, IMDb. PG-13. I believe that to be a 12 here. Is it a 12? Okay, now I have to look up what PG-13 means in England. I assume it's going to be 12. Let's see if I'm right. How are you all doing? I'm a terrible person. Okay. PG-13 in UK. 12A. I was right. I get nothing. Okay, it's a 12. Okay, I don't know if as of right now in the UK there's any 12 rated movies out. Specifically 12 age rated movies out right now. But I'm guessing no, because before this movie started they played some trailers, and all of these trailers were for CGI kids animated films. Trolls. I might as well give my thoughts on the trailers. Trolls. Yep. Celebrities. Modern pop songs. And yep. Seems DreamWorks. By the way, the teaser trailer for that had one of the trolls twerking. Made me want to die. Very 2016. Yay. Praise for this generation. We're going to have old people just talk about twerking and iPhones in like a couple decades. Well, a few more decades than that. People like this the generation of iPhones and twerking to get old. But anywho, very relevant. Then they showed a trailer for Sing. I know I didn't make the movie. I know I didn't make the trailer. But in the fact that I'm in a room full of strangers, it makes me for some odd reason my brain just makes me think that I made the trailer. It just makes me feel awkward that I'm in the room because the trailer just so. I know it's for 6-year-olds, but it's just bad because I'm my age. I see kids animated films. I went and saw Kung Fu Panda 3 and had a great time, but still, trailer bad. And what else of the trailer did they play? They also played a ballerina film. Terrible. Because it's not the creme de la creme of filmmaking. And they also played a trailer for Maui. Basically, all those are like for CGI kids animated movies, and then all full of pop songs and made by Disney and DreamWorks and all, especially Trolls is all colourful and all fluffy and stuff, and they say, "Oh snap!" Hi Facebook. But then in the movie, there's a particular scene. I hope no one brought their 7-year-old into this, because there's a scene where the villains turn into monsters. These big they look like Slendermen. In fact, no, I'm not even joking. They're tall. They got tentacles coming out of their somewhere. Okay, not that somewhere. Mouth around this area, mouth or back. Actually, more mouth. Basically, there's monsters in the film, like hollows, I believe, and they look like Slendermen. I mean, they're not fully. They're actually wearing suits, but it's all ripped up. They have no eyes. They look like the monsters at the end of Doctor Who series 7, and they were with the guy who was in the Snowman episode. Yes, or the temp something from the Sarah Jane Adventures. They have no eyes, and they have a Slenderman head. Actually, Slenderman doesn't have a face at all. Okay, Slenderman face with a mouth and pointy teeth, and they're big and they're white, and they have suits, but here is all ripped up, and they have tentacles, and they reminded me of Slenderman. Remember that. Remember that. Ah, man, that was awful. I'm cringy, I know. Is there even another word for cringy? But carrying on, there's a scene where the villains turn into these big monsters. The CGI very good. It was quite. My mum who's over 40. Sorry, she looks lovely for 40. That's weird because I'm her son, but I assume other people would say that, who aren't a-holes. And she was there. She was getting freaked out by it, but maybe because she's just a wimp. Sorry, she's not gonna watch this. I doubt my microphone picked that up. The scene, I assume for 7-year-olds, would terrify them, give them nightmares. Just Samuel Jackson, a straight up close up of Samuel Jackson turning into this big monster, like that. His eyes are going and his face is going a different shape, and his hands are going like this and turns into a big spike. And then and the whole movie is about these monsters taking away their eyes. Which reminds me of Kubo and the Two Strings, if you've seen it, by the way. Man, there's a link. I went from that to a stop-motion film. What do you know? Yeah, and they've taken it... they actually show, literal just CGI eyes, with the actual flesh string coming off it, and some characters having no eyes, so it's just black holes. And again, really good CGI of these people, their hands going like this, and their face, and their eyes, and spiky teeth. I mean, I was like, Jesus, made me go on my chair, goodness. Just monster transformations in films, I find interesting, movie magic-wise, but freaky. And I'm just saying, it's really ironic, because they're playing a trailer for DreamWorks' Trolls, and Sing, Illumination Pictures, whatever, Sing, and I had and they were singing bloody Anaconda in it. Hated that. But still, that means it's because I have to judge it. I don't think highly of myself anyway. That was random, but basically what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what I think of it, because it doesn't matter. Okay. And then they show the scene of the creepy thing of turning into monsters, and yeah, kind of ironic, and I assume it will give kids nightmares. But okay, gotta keep it going. Okay, what's next on my notey notes? But oh yes, and I also speaking of taking away eyes, while I was on the toilet writing these notes, honestly, it reminded me of Coraline, but they didn't swap them with buttons; they just left them with no eyes. And I got to point out the elephant in the room. Hi, get out. Yeah, I couldn't stop thinking of. I'm assuming like many, I couldn't stop thinking of similarities to just other movies with just somewhat similar. X-Men, home for people with abilities. Sky High. You have a superhero gene, and you go to a school where they embrace it. A Harry Potter. Some people are muggles, normal people. Some are different. They have wizard capabilities, and they go to a school. And I even thought of Spiderwick Chronicles. Why? Because there's a whole world, that's not of this reality, and there's these creatures. And do you know what Spiderwick Chronicles is? It was a Nickelodeon film. I grew up on it a bit. It's actually quite cool. I believe it's also based on books. It's actually really cool. It got like big ogres. It's got the guy from Hulk, Bruce's dad from the Ang Lee's Hulk. He talks like I can't personally. He got a really croaky voice. Has a famous mugshot. Turned to an ogre. I recommend it. Good CGI. Good story. It's fun. Makes you want to be in it. Yeah. So yes, I'm sure like many, I couldn't stop thinking of similarities to stuff like that, those movies and franchises and stuff. But I'm not just going like, well, this movie's crap because it made me think of X-Men. But basically, my point is, I want Miss Peregrine, Dumbledore, and Charles Xavier to have a boy band, or well, it can't be a boy band because Miss Peregrine is a girl. Maybe like an epic trio of wizardry, mutant, and peculiarness. Make a fanfic about that. And I just wanted to point that out. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that. I'm very. I must look very drowsy. If you know what I mean, just very out of it. Which I apologise. So yes, I'm sure like many others can't help but think of similarities to those sort of things. But I did. But I still enjoyed it all the same. When's X-Men gonna come into this? Being peculiar, I thought that was being a mutant. But like, it's not like straight up superpowers of like shooting webs. Like, it's just being a bit, having something odd about you. One of the kids have super strength. That's a superhero thing. But one of the others is like has a mouth on the back of her head. I assume some of them you're like, well, that's a superhero power. But I mean, I assume some of them you can't really use and be a superhero. Like one kid can have put something on his eye and could be like a projector so they can watch a movie. That's not really a superpower. That's peculiar. Wow. Good thing they called it that. They could have said oddness, but that's not as good. So yes, again, I really like this world. Like, I find it really fascinating and interesting, and it makes me want to read the books. In fact, I added the books to my wish list on Amazon now. But still, it does. does. Miss Peregrine, played by Eva Green, who was in Casino Royale, she played her character really well. I mean, some people may call it overacting, but it looks like she was having a lot of fun. I liked it, and like she really embraced the role. Like sometimes she would just her character was crying, and it looked really believable. Like her character, you always think there's something sinister about her, like she's not telling you something, and she has some other intentions. Just something about her. She's a good guy though, and she's like really in control. And she's like, "You're 53 seconds late," and like that villain from Batman the Animated Series, the clock guy, obsessed with time, and she's like really in control, and she has a pipe, and she told the villain, said, "I'll talk to my children, thank you," and she's like really, she's not really strict, but she's like also seems really kind, and but I liked her character, and yeah, her character was probably my favourite, but probably because I don't know, she just had a lot of time put into her, probably more, I don't know, just up front, like, well, you're not just, you just don't have a British accent, that's not the only thing you have, or, I don't know, just have the one trait of being jealous, or just being kind, or something, like some of the other kids, so you're probably my favourite character. and Jake's dad, because played by the guy from IT Crowd. Oh man, I would have loved to hear his Irish accent through the speakers of the screening I was in. But yes, I liked the character. Eva Green played it really well, and I think it was really well played. Her character was really cool, and I wouldn't mind seeing more of her. And I assume because there's like 2 other sequels of the books, they might be, if this movie does well, they'll do more sequels and stuff. But I assume I believe the sequel is called Hollow City, so I'm assuming that's not going to be a subtitle. Let's just call it Hollow City, because even they must go, yeah, that'll be a long title. Anywho, excuse me. Okay. There's 2 main characters, Jake and Emma. They try to have a romance between them. Awful, not very good. They pretty much just say they're gonna have a romantic moment, because the character, the one with the projector eye thing, who when he shows it could kind of tell the future, and it shows them possibly having a romance. And okay, spoilers. I mean, well, obviously the fact that that 2 of the main characters are a boy and a girl, and they're kind of the same age. I mean, it's kind of obvious they were trying that already, but it didn't go. It's not very good. It's kind of bad. It's just awkward. Like, heck, when they try to allude to it, like, oh look, it's silence. Like, Jake's looking at her a bit weird. No one's saying anything. Maybe they're a bit close, or something. It's not like oh, it's all romantic. Oh, it's so cute. No, it's just awkward. I'm just begging for someone to say something. They do this in movies a lot. Like, just it's silence. Like. And like, they're all awkward. Are they gonna have a romance? No, I find it's awkward and uncomfortable. I'm begging for someone to say something, so the awkwardness can stop. I know I didn't make the film, but it's awkward, and also the fact that the person who played Jake, I didn't think was very good. His character was bland and boring. I know. Besides, having a bit of anxiety, and that's all I know about him, and also just asking questions about the place. Most of the dialogue is exposition. My God, like at the end, there's a part with Samuel Jackson. This goes like, all I want is for this and that. Are you kidding me? I've done this and this and this because of this and this and this. So I'm not giving up now because of this and this and this. Because this and this and this. Some of the parts like, it's so exposition. Not even Samuel Jackson, but like just most of the parts when Jake is at the bloody house is just like, well Jake, are you going to do this and this and this, because we need to do this and this and this. I mean, it's not all of the dialogue's like that, but a lot of the dialogue is exposition. There's a Nostalgia Critic joke if you watch that with Casper. Nostalgia Critic, if you're a fan of his older content, it was his running joke. Again, anywho, I think I skipped a few points there, but basically, the romance was not very well done at all. I know they, they felt like they had to. I'm sure it's like that in the book. I assume it's very much more well done in the book, because like the books could go on for much longer and they could put in as much detail as want. Well, it depends on how well written it is. Yes. Basically silent, like. Are they going to do something? No, awkward. Please, someone speak. Kid who played Jake, he wasn't very good. Just like, I don't know. I assume, like you said, the character has a bit of anxiety, he could be a bit shy. I don't know. The way most of the actors speak in this film I know Tim Burton's like always all weird and peculiar, like they don't really act like normal people in everyday act, but it's the fact that like some of the characters just speak weirdly and odd, like not how a person would normally speak, and it's not stylish or I don't know, like neat. It's distracting. I found it a bit distracting just how some characters just talk really weird and deliver their lines kind of poorly. Maybe just because it was Tim Burton told them to do that, like that, like how they said it in the books. I don't know how the person would put that out there, but or they just delivered it poorly, and like heck, there's a part. I'm not even going to say the context, but basically, one of the characters were going to leave, but then came back and to the character, and the character thought the character was going to leave, but then instead of the character going back to the character going like, "Hi, I'm back," and and saying, "I'm glad I'm back," and such, no, the character just runs up to him going like, "I came back because of this way, and then I got back because of this way, and this was how I did it, and this and this and this." Not like "Hi, I'm back," or something normal like, "Okay, I'm back. It's good to see you. I didn't want to leave." No, just "I got back because of this and this and this." It was just so weird. Like just runs up like, "I got back this way." That's imagine that. I just saying like, "Okay, I'm going now." That I leave him, and then I got back like, and instead of going like, "Hi, I'm back now because of this," no, like, "I forgot my keys, so I came back this way, and I ran past the fish and chip shop, and then I came back here, and then I picked up my, that's why I'm going to pick up my keys." Doesn't work. I did have fun. It just, some things were distracting. There were flaws, hella flaws. Hella flaws. Hella is a word, I think, maybe. Yep, I'm gonna go to bed after this. Okay. The kid who played Jake, I'm sure, like, that's how he was told to do it, but just the way... his character was bland and boring. And it's like, oh, is that why? It's just, he delivered his lines not very well at some points. Whoa! I know it's Tim's shtick for it to be a bit weird and odd. Peculiar. Like, just the way the film looks and how people speak, it's not, how normal people speak, but maybe that's dated now. I don't know why. It's a bit distracting. It's not all like that. Not all the dialogue and how everyone delivers their lines. But as for actual like characters, like the actual children themselves, very interesting. Like the actual abilities, I want to know more about them. But because we don't spend all that much time with them, they just seem like, oh, he's jealous. She likes that one. They all have British accents. They act like their abilities are completely normal. There's one or two jokes that, are a bit chuckle-worthy to do with their abilities, but besides that, not put time into it. Okay, what was this thing? Probably just me, but I found there's a whole thing about, like, the characters going through a loop time thingy-majiggy, and eventually, I don't know if it was just me, but towards the end, they talk about it, like, oh, if you're in this loop and this loop, then you can't be in this loop. I found it I got a bit confused towards the end, a bit confused about the whole loop time thing, but that's probably just me. I just found I got a bit confused. And by the way, this film has the thing where, like, there's a kid, a main guy or girl, like, I'm not all that special, there's nothing special about me, I'm just normal. I can't live up to my great insert relative here. My father was great, he was a hero. My granddad was great, he was a hero. I don't know if I could live up to that because I'm not special or great. And then towards the end I'm like, oh yeah, I am special or great because I have this thing, or because I am who I am and I should just be myself, and I'm going to get all these other people who, really liked me or doubted me per se, and I'm going to get them together and we're going to be a team and we're going to use our differences to our advantages, and we're going to defeat the bad guy. And that kid who was always jealous of me and hated me now respects me and shakes my hand. That's in there. If you like that, great. I'm not going to comment on it. I'm just going to move on, like a good critic should. I'm not going to call call myself a critic. That nah. Okay. By the way, there's a plot hole and paradox in it. I don't know how to say this without spoilers, but I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to say, basically, a character does this thing to a villain, and basically, due to this character doing this thing to this villain, means that the villain never did this thing to the character that got the character to get into the position that basically started the whole movie in the first place. So it's a paradox plot hole thing, because when even the character says, well, if you do this to the villain, you can't be with us anymore, or something, but I was expecting him to say, are you going to say that will never actually get the character to be in the thing that would start the whole, that make him get into the position for the movie to happen in the first place? No, he doesn't say that. So you create a paradox. Yeah. So to sum up, production design, whole design of it, and the whole look, I really liked. I loved the world. It was fascinating, interesting, makes me want to read the books. The dialogue was, a lot of it was exposition heavy, and the way it was delivered by some of the actors wasn't very well done. Good. No. The character of Miss Peregrine was probably the most interesting and, fun to watch, because most of the children, their trait is just their abilities, or they're British, or they're jealous, or something like that. A lot more time could have been put into them. I do want to point out that the imagery, like the iconography of this movie alone, is also really good. Just like the imagery of Jake just having a rope tied to a floating girl. I love that concept alone, because I think as a kid I've actually had like thoughts like, wow, what if I just what if I was like a balloon, just let go, like I couldn't stop floating into the air, I just float into space and no one could get me. It's a weird thought to have, imaginative thought to have. That sounds narcissistic. I just call myself imaginative, but I think there's a poster of basically Jake just having a rope tied to her and like pulling her like a balloon. Just that imagery alone, this movie has great, just weird imagery, and I like that. Like girl with like terrifying mouth on the back of her head, and just like bees, and those two twins, and remind me of the twins from 9 because they don't say anything. Remember 9 CGI animated. I love the imagery of this movie alone, which counts as look. So just the simple imagery of just weird, just guy pulling a girl like a bloody balloon. And no, not pull getting a girl like that. It's a phrase in England, pulling a girl, not like that. Naughty. By the way, there's no scale of how powerful her floating is, if that makes sense. Sometimes, I don't know, that guy has to pull the rope to make sure, because you have to hold the rope tighter to make sure he doesn't let go, because you're just holding her by the rope. And sometimes she doesn't have her shoes on, pulling her down, and doesn't even have the rope tied to her. She's just holding on to a hedge, and not like her feet are just going up to the air, so she's holding it like that. I assume she's just pulling herself down like this. If so, I'm surprised the branch or whatever she's holding on to doesn't break and she's going to the air. So yeah, I don't know, I'm not really sure how strong her floating is. That makes sense. That is a nitpick if I've ever heard. Back to my point. I just cut this right in the middle, so it seems odd. I filmed this after I finished the bloody review. The character of Jake, mostly bland, and I know could have done better by, the actor, I assume just because, he's a bit shy, okay, I'll just deliver, a bit mumbly and a bit, and, just a bit weirdly delivered. The romance wasn't very well done at all. It was mostly just awkward. Samuel Jackson, by the way, I didn't forget to mention him. He's having so much fun. I mean, cliche. He's pretty much Mograth. He's Mograth from Spider Chronicles. That's a big link. Just saying, I want this thing, and not as great as this person, and you get the point. Again, funny how they played advertisement for kids movies, and there's actually a kind of a freaky scene in this that would terrify a kid. I think even a 12-year-old maybe. But that's well done to the CGI department. It kind of drags towards the end. What else? Some part of it is cliched, and you might feel is similar to films about schools about people with abilities that aren't of this reality and normal and such and such. And I just want to say, when I say cliched, I mean I've seen elements of this film done in many other films that I've seen, and I know many. I see movies quite a bit. Not bragging, and so obviously I'm gonna go, wow, that's similar to this movie I've seen. I mean, that's gonna happen. I'm gonna see things that have been done in other films. Either like, I know, like a maybe like a just element of a story or something that normally occurs between a character or whatever. So when I say cliched, it's basically not me saying, I know, the whole like a point gun sideways cliched or cliched. Is that even a cliche? Like, I don't know, a character shouting no. That could be a cliche. A movie cliche, shall I say. Should I say cliche? But basically what I'm saying is, I've seen a lot of parts of this film I've seen done in many other films. That's gonna happen. I can't just go like, how dare it not be completely and utterly original and nothing like I've ever seen before. But basically, am I saying those things that I've seen in this film done in other films, is that a good thing? Well, I think it's been done quite a bit before. Does it do it well? Yeah. Hopefully you know what I mean. I'm not saying like, well, this movie that has done something I've seen in another film that makes it bad and not original. Well, I assume that movie that I'm talking about has done the same thing that another film has done and such. What I'm just saying is, I noticed that. Hopefully I'm getting my point across here. It's done things that other movies done. And kind of some things that are kind of overused, and it has not really very well. I could have said that better. My words are just meh right now. That was just a sound. What am I doing? Did I like it? Yeah, sure. Would I say it's pretty good? Sure, by the skin of his teeth. Would I say it's great? Nah. So what rating I'll give it? 7 or 6. Maybe a 7. I'll be generous. Mainly because I really like the character Miss Peregrine. So, some people, my mum, I bet some people can't bother to say his name. The new Tim Burton one, I want a ticket for that. Like Miss Peregrine, but I can't be bothered. Tim Burton one, I want to see that. Because he even knows Tim Burton. But yeah, I just really like the world, and that's really what's getting up there. I found it interesting, and if they make a sequel, yay. But hopefully it'll be successful. But still, it would have been nice if this one was really great, and then I'll be like, yay. So yes, I'm gonna go and drink a lot of water now. So hopefully that helps. I said a lot of irrelevant things, but hopefully it was fun either way. Yep, Eva Green's face is still blurry, and there you go, sat in the same position for 40 minutes. Yeah, and hopefully I'll get around to doing those reviews of Sausage Party, Kubo and the Two Strings, especially those two, War Dogs, and also that one. That was really good. And Pete's Dragon, Pete's Dragon was it was meh. Can be really meh. Yeah, and by the way, with Pete's Dragon, I saw the last showing. I just wanted to see Pete's Dragon. I got there by 11 for it. But again, off topic. Have fun. Be peculiar. Be yourself. Yeah. Cheerio. Deano reviews, not a screen watcher like you. Till the next time. Yeah. Water. By the way, I know I do this a lot when I end it, and then I have one more little tiny point that's kind of pointless. The granddad, I believe, is played by the same guy who played Zod in Superman 2, and I've also seen his performance as the butler, can't remember his name, in the character's name in The Haunted Mansion. If you remember that, it was a Disney film where the main character was played by Eddie Murphy. And might I just say, the way he talks still has lovely, slightly over the top, as it normally is, like, yes. Well, actually, more in the Haunted Mansion, he kind of sung a bit, but here, like, just like his first line, it's like, no, don't come here. Just, you think it's bad, but just because this is odd, you love it. Okay, bye. Deals before Zod. Yeah. I'm tired. Oh, and there's a scene where the character Remember uses her airbending powers, to get a boat from the bottom of the ocean and gets out of the water. That was really awesome. Oh, and there's also a scene where skeletons, you know, like stop motion skeletons from that movie that famously did it, that I can't really remember right now, fights the big Slenderman creatures. And yeah, I assume the people, the Fox people in the editing room, who also own X-Men, were like, we should make this more awesome. This adds some techno electronic 2016 diggity dope music. So yes, to make you feel really, give you like, oh man, this is awesome, we're getting pumped. They have some techno electronic music when these skeletons are fighting these big slender creatures that they use snow because one of the characters could see them, and so everyone else can. Those scenes just popped up in my mind, so I'm also going to shove them at the end. Okay, absolutely cheerio, goodbye now, there you go, those were my thoughts. In fact, I just said what they were. That scene was cool, the other one, I don't know why they added that music, but, you know, got me kind of pumped. Okay, goodbye now, have a great day.